Your son said it was the lowest sustained period of your career.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 years.
The academic impropriety stuff at UNC, how did it affect you?
Mentally more than anything. The way I felt like people were looking at me and the way they were looking at my basketball program and the way I thought they were looking at my school. And I didn't think it was fair because I didn't do anything wrong.
How did you think they were looking at you?
That it was negative, because negative news gets the headlines, and the Raleigh News and Observer put it in the headlines every day.
I mean, you thought the perception was what?
I thought the perception was that we were cheating, that we were giving our players extra help, that we were giving our players grades, and that was not true, and that I was involved. When the first notice of allegations came out, my name was in there one time, and it said we interviewed Coach Roy Williams. The second notice of allegation, that wasn't even in there, and yet they interviewed me and they talked to me and they found nothing, and I felt like we had really done some good things to make sure we were not doing anything wrong. And so that was a difficult time. We had recruited 24 McDonald's All-Americans in the first 10 years. In the next 3 years, we recruited 1. And it was hard when you walk up to do a speaking engagement to help somebody, and there's a TV camera there, and a guy sticks a microphone underneath your face and says, do you think you're going to keep your job? Do you think you're going to be fired? And so it was not the most pleasant time.
It wasn't easy, because you just know that he felt bad and felt, that it was something that in some ways was not a part of him, but also he was getting a lot of the blame for it.
But the thing that probably hurt him the most is it was an attack on his personal integrity. It was an embarrassment for the school as a whole. And yet, because he was the most visible, unwilling participant in that, he was held up as everything that went wrong.
Your son said it was the lowest sustained period of your career.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 years. I mean, it wasn't happening like that.
Right.
And every time you turn around and people would yell things. I go to a golf tournament and people are saying, hang in there, coach, hang in there, coach. And one guy yelled a cheater. And I'm face to face with him in about 3 seconds. I just told him he had no idea what he was talking about and don't open his mouth unless he knows what the crap he's talking about. And then the light bulb flicked on and said, be a little smarter than that. So I turned around and walked off.
I understand there's some close to you who feel like there are others that could have done more to defend you when all this was going on. What do you think?
Oh, at the time, I wish I had wanted some things to be said to say Roy Williams did nothing wrong. Roy Williams is doing this the right way.
By the university?
Or anybody, anybody that could get some attention. But that was, it made me a little mad, but it wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't.
It wasn't just a football thing or a basketball thing. It cheapened all of our degrees. It was a black smudge on the university as a whole. And yet through that process, I think he had kind of made it his mind up that he was not going to bail in the middle of that, because that would have been the easy decision. And I think a lot of it is he believed that he would have been letting down Coach Smith if he had, bailed on it at that point.
Looking back on that now, do you feel like there was anything you should have known that you didn't?
No. When we got here, we told them we were going to do things the right way, and we had guys that had sort of gone over to this major that they thought was the easiest, and I didn't think that was right. And I said, hey, we're not going to tell me what you want to do. You want to be a dentist, you want to be a businessman, you want to do this, do your job in the classroom. And if I'm the basketball coach, you're going to do it or you're not going to play. And that was just a very simple thing with me. So it wasn't any campaign or anything that I did. I just told them this is the way it's going to be.
Former players were great about it as well, and coming out like, what is being reported, like that's not the Coach Williams that we had to put up with, because that dude was on our tails.
You even kind of just felt for the players too, like these guys that had worked so hard that had legitimate classes, and then all of a sudden they're people are talking and saying, oh, your degree isn't legitimate.
And I couldn't control what had gone on before. And as I looked into it, and the university looked into it, what had gone in before was not what was portrayed in the newspapers at all. And so I was comfortable with what had gone on before, and I was darn sure comfortable with everything I'd done.
Bad things really did happen, no matter how much certain Carolina fans may say, you know, told you nothing happened. No, things happened. Bad things happened. And part of those bad things happened on his watch. Now they were turned. Guardrails were put up, and the culture and the expectation was changed. But you just see like the thread of his being attacked.
What about lesson or takeaway from that experience?
That in times when you have tough times, you do need that core group that you can pull together. And that's what I tried to do with my team. And that was the reason we had the success we had during those times. I mean, we lost the national championship game on the last second shot and won a national championship game during those time periods. But it was because we tried to be even stronger together.